I'm Alex, and in this video I will tell you about Mercury Retrograde during August 2024. It will take place from 5th until 28th of August, and before it is a shadow phase and after it is a shadow phase, so it's kind of influencing our lives from 16th of July until 11th of September. And you will find a lot of important information below under this video about days when you will experience a Mercury retrograde, and also about aspects I will talk about, and two sign of Leo and Virgo. So it's very interesting and nice energy. Mercury retrograde is something what a lot of people know about, even people who don't really know much about astrology, and it can sound a bit scary sometimes. It can sound like a part of our life when nothing works and everything is terrible and we can blame everything on Mercury retrograde. No, like we need Mercury retrograde, and Mercury is retrograde 3 times every year. So it's totally normal process. It's just a time what helps us to rethink what we need to, and to come back to topics in our lives we have to come back to, and we need to dive deeper into them and maybe change some things in our lives. Of course, these changes are better done after Mercury retrograde, not during. But even if you want to make a change during Mercury retrograde, it's nice to know you're doing it during such a time, and to be a bit more careful, but it doesn't mean you have to stop your life and don't do anything and just I don't know, lie in bed and wait till August will end. That's a bit even sad, when it's summer and nice outside, to just wait and not to do anything. No, it's a beautiful time for rethinking what you need to rethink about, and to go inside yourself and to meditate and write down your ideas, your thoughts, and to maybe write poetry, and to focus on art, on yourself, on how you feel and how you think, because Mercury retrograde is a time when Mercury, a planet of thinking and talking, basically works differently. And that means it works differently than we are used to it working, but it doesn't mean it doesn't work. It just functions a bit in a different way. So it can be very helpful and very much more internal and even peaceful when it doesn't bring any conflicts and problems with travels and so on. But me personally, I'm planning to travel during this Mercury retrograde, so it's not I, as astrologer, am planning not to. I just know I need to be a little bit more careful and probably take more time for stuff and for my plans, and to be, I don't know, like a bit sooner on airport. Yeah, it can be really nice time, and we will experience signs of Leo and Virgo. And these two signs are both really interesting in combination with Mercury, because Virgo is at home, or like Mercury is at home in Virgo, and that means it really works very well, because Mercury in Virgo is very analytical, very much very rational, very detail oriented and critical, and it wants to, like Mercury in Virgo is a placement would want communication and mind to really work and to really make sense and to really be real and factual. But Mercury in Leo is a bit different. I mean, of course, it wants things to work, but it has confidence it will. And Leo has confidence to say what he wants to say. Leo can sometimes even feel like the thing they are saying is important because it's important for them. And Mercury is Leo is a really nice placement. It gives even like bravery, to talk your mind. And it's very joyful, very much extroverted. These two Mercuries are quite different. I can tell you, like Leo is confident and Virgo has its doubts, and Leo is external, Virgo is more internal. And Leo is loud, Virgo is more silent, because like Virgo wants to first think through everything and to find every mistake, but Leo wants to just talk their mind, because not like they don't care what they are saying, they do, and they are very proud of it, and they want the things they say to be accurate and to be the best ones, but they are much more willing to actually say them, because they are much more brave and understand they have a right to speak their mind. What Virgo is very much a sign of criticism, but they are the biggest critic of themselves first, and they want to criticize other people to help them. Like when Virgo or somebody with Mercury in Virgo is criticizing you, they don't want to hurt you, they want to help you to be perfect. It's they kind of love sometimes. Yeah, and Leo is just proud, and Virgo is much more insecure, because Virgo dreams about perfection, and also Leo does dream about perfection, but Leo has enough confidence to think they can achieve, maybe not perfection, but they can achieve a point where they will be good enough to talk their mind, to say what they want to say. And Virgo, they when they have to talk, they will have a lot of data for what they are saying. They are also like very analytical and detail oriented, and like in a lot of cases I think Virgo are much more prepared for all the communication and talking stuff, but they feel it's still maybe only like 90%, so they will be silent and Leo will talk. It's quite nice together, these two signs, because Virgo can prepare materials and Leo can say it, and to be a center of attention. What is also something Virgo doesn't really want to be a center of attention, because what if something they are saying is not right? What if they are not perfect enough and somebody will notice it? Yeah. Good thing is, I am talking only about archetypes. And these two signs are next to each other, and that means a lot of people who have Leo energy in their charts have also Virgo energy. So, in a lot of you who are Leos or Virgos or have like Mercury there, experience also the second of these energies. So, it's a really nice combination to have in a chart. Yeah, so these two Mercuries and these two thinking processes we will experience this August. Yes, sorry for the dog. It's not mine, it's of my neighbor, and yeah, I can't really plan videos according to a dog, because then I wouldn't make any videos probably. During this Mercury retrograde, we will experience 5 aspects I will talk about, and usually aspects on Mercury or like of Mercury lasts only about like half a day, but this time think about a day before and also a day after, because Mercury is slower during retrograde and these aspects will repeat themselves, and that's something what makes them more important and more impactful. So I will write down days and also tell you about these days during talking about aspects. As I said, about 3 days for each one of them, 3 times for most of them, you will see. And I will go through them, and then I will tell you which areas of your life will be influenced by this Mercury retrograde. So, and then down under the video you can find days when you will experience these energies in your life, and when they will come back and go like again flowing forward. And first I will quickly explain what it is. Mercury retrograde, I'm planning to make a longer video about explaining of this phenomenon, so subscribe to my channel to watch it later, or you can already maybe find it here on my channel. Depends on when you are watching. Maybe look down, and after I will make it and upload it, I will add a link to this video, but maybe quickly about it. So Mercury retrograde is a period of time when Mercury is going back. Every planet has a time when it is going back, because each planet moves in a different speed around the sun, so it's not like Mercury really stops and go back and then like forward. Of course not. It's something what we see from Earth is an illusion. But you know, like illusions, what we actually see are still very much influencing us. Yeah, so during this time, Mercury works differently than usually. So it works more inside, and things we are used to works differently. It's not the best time to start something, to sign up any documents, to travel, to really rely on things to work as usually. But you, of course, can travel and sign up documents and move and so on if you need to during this time. It's not really, as I said, a time to stop your life. It's just a time to read those documents again and to look at your tickets again when you are traveling. It's a time when you need to think about things in your life more deeply, and not to really act on any unique idea you have. Or, like, of course, you can, but it can end very differently than you would think it will end. And it's also a really nice time. It's a really nice time to do art, to meditate, to go inside ourselves, to come back to ideas and things what happened in our lives, and to rethink and talk again maybe about something, but be a bit careful about communication, because it can bring miscommunications and sometimes even conflicts, because of misunderstandings, you know. So yeah, especially on days with Mercury squaring Uranus, be careful. I will talk about it a little bit later. But yeah. So Mercury will enter its shadow phase on 16th of July, and then it will stop on 5th of August, go back until 28th of August, and stop or again and go forward until 11th of September. So we have two shadow phases and one retrograde phase. What is shadow phase? Shadow phase is a time when Mercury is going forward, but it's going through the degrees what it will pass during retrograde phase, or already did pass. So it's going like from like Leo until Virgo, like this, and then it stops, come back, stops, and then it goes forward until next time when it will be retrograde again. Yeah, so I told you already about these two energies, these two signs we will experience Mercury in, and now let's dive into important aspects. First, we have aspect what we will experience on 19th of July, 23rd of August, and 2nd of September. And that's a trine to Chiron. it's a nice aspect. It helps us to heal what we need to heal in ourselves, in our, like mind, communication, and thinking processes. It helps us to resolve conflicts and to solve topics we need to. And it's actually like really nice. We have it like 3 times because it's nice to have more time and to come back into these topics. We will experience this energy in a sign of Leo, so it can help us to heal our confidence and how we really feel about ourselves, how we want to shine in the world, like, because like Leo is kind of like shining sign. Sun rules it, so of course it is. So this is really lovely energy, and it's really nice. We will experience such a energy during Mercury retrograde because it will go more internal and will help us to feel better. And then also in Leo still we have a square to Uranus, and we will experience this kind of energy on 22nd of July, 18th of August and 7th of September. Mercury and Uranus actually like each other. Uranus, it's called like higher octave of Mercury, and this combination is very brilliant, innovative, unique, but it's in square, so it can be a bit too unique, too brilliant and quick and fast, and it can bring amazing, unique ideas and words and beautiful, rational things into our lives, but also it can bring conflicts based on saying something without thinking about what we are saying. Or it can bring problems because of doing something before really thinking about it again. This kind of energy is a bit too quick, and Mercury on its own is a quick planet, and Uranus is very rebellious, very sharp planet. And this combination in a square, and square is about conflict between two planets, is dangerous, and it's in Leo, so it can bring too much pride, and even like maybe too much pride in things we are saying, that we are not really willing to apologize for them, because some words we are saying can be amazing and unique and brilliant, but maybe our surroundings is not prepared for them yet, so be a bit careful about this aspect. Probably the most important aspect of this Mercury retrograde is Oyot, or a finger of God. This aspect will take place on, or like around 25th of July, 15th of August and 9th of September. And what is Yod? Yod means that two planets in a sextile are making both quincunx into one planet. And currently we have Neptune on the very end of Pisces doing sextile on a Pluto, being on very beginning of Aquarius, and both of them are making quincunxes on Mercury, on very beginning of Virgo. Yes, so it means we have an opportunity to solve a problem in our communication, in our thinking, what we need to solve, what we feel we have to, because these quincunxes are giving us a feeling of frustration and a feeling of we can't function any longer like this. And two quincunxes together don't allow us to just look away and live how we do, and communicate as we do. It force us to make a change. It can bring a balance in this part of chart in between Leo and Virgo. Both of these signs have a lot to offer to each other. And the thing this energy is coming from Neptune and Pluto is very interesting, because both of these planets are very strong and very different. Because Pluto is about transformation, it's about power, it's about intensity and realness, about deep truth. Neptune is about our dreams, it's about illusions, and also about intuition. I would say this energy is forcing us to get through our frustration and get through things what don't work in these areas of our lives, and to be more real and to be more intuitive, because these two things are not contradictions. These two things are very much both about true, real experience of our lives. And it helps us to be ourselves, to have power in and about our words we are speaking or we are thinking, and it gives us a hope, because maybe you are already frustrated, you don't have any power about these topics. Maybe you are giving up any hope to solve these problems, and this aspect will show it to you in such a strength and give you maybe so much frustration you will have to solve it, and you will have 3 times you will experience this transit, so you will. And then, like on second half of September, you will already know how you think about these parts of your life. So yeah, this Mercury retrograde can really help you, actually, to force you to solve problems in your life you finally have to solve. And it can force you to finally do it and later on to feel better. And then something nice in a sign of Virgo. It will happen on 8th of August. There's a conjunction between Mercury and Venus. And this combination is very lovely. Mercury with Venus is full of nice words, because Venus is sweet and it's about love and romance, and Mercury is about thinking and about words, about communication. It's a really nice time to be nice to each other and to talk nicely with each other. It's very much like sweet, beautiful time to talk, but also Mercury brings rationality, and this aspect is already in Virgo, so it's not like empty words, you know. It's truly sweet, romantic, beautiful words. It's a really nice time for art, maybe for writing something beautiful. And then we have sextile to Mars, and it's again in Leo. We will experience this sextile again already out of shadow period, because we will experience like Chiron and Uranus still during it, but Mars is faster. So until Mercury will catch Mars again, after catching this first time on 24th of August, it will be already in front of it. So like next time we will feel this energy on 12th of September. And this energy is very active, is very much wanting to solve conflicts, but not in a argumentative kind of way. It's more like problem solving, because it wants to continue in working and in functioning, and it doesn't want to just like stop because somebody argued. It wants to go forward, and also it gives us energy to move our bodies, to continue and go ahead in our lives. I mean, first time we will experience it, Mercury will be still retrograde, but it will be like 4 days before going forward again. So yeah, it's kind of like energetic end of this transit. Overall, I think it's quite nice, Mercury retrograde. It can help us to feel better about ourselves, to rethink our doubts, to rethink our criticism, and at the same time to use it positively, because sometimes we need to be a bit critical about ourselves, especially like, but like both of these signs needs to sometimes think again, because Virgo can be too critical about themselves, and Leo may be not critical enough, but at the same time Leos have to be confident and have to be proud and joyful, because they are a sign of confidence, and Leos have to love themselves as everybody does. So yeah, such a nice aspect. So now I will tell you about how you will experience this Mercury retrograde, and if you want to see more videos from me, subscribe, like, comment, and look down under the video at my Instagram. And yeah, also at like days when you will experience these energies and have a beautiful month. If your ascendant is in Aries, you will feel this Mercury retrograde in your 6th and 5th house. You will feel the Virgo part of it in your 6th house, in area of your daily routine and day-to-day life, and also in the way how you think about your physical body and how healthy you are eating, how much you are exercising, and how you feel about it. It's also about your health in general, and these are topics you will think about deeper this time, and it's a great time to rethink how you are treating your time in general and how you are treating your body. And the Leo part is in 5th house. It's a house of joy. It's a house of your creativity, your creative projects. It's also a house of children. It's a time to think again about your relationship with your children or with children in general. Maybe it's a great time to think again if you want or not want to have children. And it's a house of romance. And this Mercury retrograde, there's a higher possibility somebody from your past will come back into your life. Of course, it's up to you how you will react for them coming back, and it's also higher possibility for you to have a need to come back to somebody's life. It's not a best time to start a new relationship because you can think about the relationship you would start very differently after this Mercury retrograde, and in general it's not a great time to make a big change yet. It's a great time to plan it, to be critical about your daily life, about how much joy you are experiencing. It's a great time to think about frustration of these two big topics in your life, and how do you really feel about how you are treating your days and how much joy do you feel every day, and how can you change it, how do you want to change it. So it can really help your joy and your everyday enjoying of this life. And you will see in September and later on in what areas and topics will your life be different, or what will be your plans later. If your ascendant is in Taurus, you will feel this Mercury retrograde in your 5th and 4th house. 5th house is about joy you're feeling in your life. It's about your creativity and your art and about things you like to do. And it's also about children and your relationship with children, or if you want them, don't want them. And it's about your romantic life. You will feel these topics in a sign of Virgo, as you always do with Ascendant in Taurus, but this time it will be even more into depth, and you will be even more critical about these topics, or maybe more like picky about what brings you really joy into your life. There's a higher possibility somebody from your past will come back into your life. Of course, it's your choice how you will react, but it's not the best time to start a new relationship. And even if you feel like you would like to come back to somebody's life from your past, I mean, I understand it's a time of rethinking what happened in your past. Maybe it would be better to wait until September and later, but you know how you feel and think about these topics. Just be a bit prepared for changing your mind again after. And your fourth house, in a sign of Leo, it's about thinking again of how you feel and think about your home and where do you live, how do you live. Maybe you want to redecorate your place, or maybe you want to move. It's not the best time to sign any legal contracts, and if you have to read them again and again before signing them. But, and sorry for the dog, it's my neighbor's. Sorry. Um, yeah. So think again before signing up anything or before starting anything. It's better to think about it again and again and again, and then act on it in September and later on. It's a time to solve the frustration you feel about these two topics together. Maybe you feel like you don't feel enough joy at your home. Maybe it's a time to think again about your living situation with your children or with your romantic partner. It's a time to maybe think about how you want to change your place so you will be able to create more or make more art or to focus more on your hobbies. Yeah, it can bring a lot of joy and a homely peace into your life in the future. This Mercury retrograde, after focusing on details and after being a bit more critical about these topics in your life. If your ascendant is in Gemini, you will feel it in your fourth and third house. The Virgo part is about your home, your house or flat, and how you really think about your living situation. Maybe you would want to move, or maybe you would want to change everything, or something small even about your place. And it's not the best time to move yet. If you have to sign any legal documents, you have to, but read them again and again and again, you know, and like really try to communicate more clearly, because you can be surprised otherwise. And a Leo part is about your third house. It's about your communication and thinking, even writing, It's about a village or city or part of city where you live, and also about your neighbors and siblings. These areas of your life will be more present in your mind, and you will need to think again how happy you are really about these topics. This Mercury retrograde will bring you time to rethink the frustrations you feel about these topics. Maybe you don't really like the way you live because of area where you live, or because of your home, or maybe because of your neighbors. Maybe it's a time to think about moving. Don't move yet if you don't have to, and use this time to think about it and to plan it and to think again and again, and just be a bit more detail oriented and focus also on your happiness. And yeah, then you will see in September and later on how you really feel about your living situation and your place and your home, and also your communication. It's a time to think again about what words you are using in your mind, and like when you talk, it's a time to even maybe think again about thinking, maybe because your third house is in Leo. Maybe you would want to think, or you would want to talk more publicly, and it's a great time to think about the way how you would want to do it and plan it, and even try some kind of automatic writing or drawing, or even some kind of like meditation in your mind, and dive deep into your mind, because you're Gemini, or like Gemini Ascendant, so Mercury is very important planet for you. Communication is very important for you. Thinking and your rationality are very important for you. So this is a great time to think about them and to think about your values and how do you want to talk and live and plan your life to feel better in it. If your ascendant is in Cancer, you will feel this Mercury retrograde in your third and second house. The Virgo part will be about your communication, about your mind, and about words you are using in general, outside and inside. And it will be also about area of your life where you are living in, about your village or your city, part of a city where you are living in, and about your neighbors, about your siblings, and short trips. It's a time to think again about these topics, to be a bit even more detail oriented than usually, because you already are quite picky about these topics and quite critical. You are living with Virgo in your third house, so these are parts you are thinking very deeply about, usually, and very practically. But this time it's an opportunity to think about them even deeper and even more critical, to find out what you don't like about them, so you can change it after this Mercury retrograde. Like, be prepared to change your mind a bit and don't make big changes yet. And also, it's about your second house and about your finances, about your values, and about your own worth. And it's a time to find out how you really think about your own value and how you think and feel about how much money you earn and how much money you maybe deserve, and how much do you love yourself and what do you really value and what brings joy to your life and what is nice just for you and what brings you feeling you are proud of yourself and you feel good about yourself. It's a time in general to solve the frustration you feel about these two big topics together. It's a time maybe to think about how much you value yourself and how much your surroundings value you, and how much money you earn and how expensive the area you're living in really is. And maybe you deserve some better part of city or village or whatever, like forest. Maybe you are living in a beautiful cottage in forest, and maybe you want to change it and to live in a big city. Who knows? And yeah, how much you really feel you are living according to your values and what in your life is against your own values, and maybe it's making you feel worse about yourself. It's a time to think again and again about these topics and not make big changes yet. Just think and wait a bit until at least September, and you will know then how you really think about these parts of your life. If your ascendant is in Leo, this Mercury retrograde is very important for you because you will feel it in your second and first house. First, there will be a Virgo part, and that's your second house. It's a time to think about your values and how much do you value yourself. It's also a time to think about your finances and if you are earning enough of them. Maybe you deserve more, or maybe you deserve to change away how you are earning money. It's a time to be more critical about your own values and how happy you are about them and how happy you are about yourself. How proud are you of yourself? And then Mercury will enter Leo again. And that's your first house. That's you. And how do you see yourself, think about yourself, and who are you? What you are showing to other people, how you look like, how do you want to look like. It's a great time to plan a change of things you are not happy about yourself. It can be a bit sad even when you will be critical about yourself, because you can find things you don't like about yourself, and you can be very critical about the way you are treating your values and your opinions, and maybe you changed and it's not the way you would prefer to change. And during this Mercury retrograde, it's a great time to think about it, to go a bit deeper inside yourself, and to plan a change of yourself to be more as you want to be, who you want to be, and how do you want to look like and feel like, and how much do you want to value yourself. It's a time to plan it. During Mercury retrograde, it's not the best to make big changes, So wait a bit with them, write down everything you think about. It's a beautiful time to dive deeper inside yourself and to really focus on yourself. It's a time to listen to yourself and not to others. And it's a time to think for yourself. It can be sad, it can be too self-critical. Don't forget to be nice to yourself, like in the end you need to love yourself. So use this Mercury retrograde as a way to find a way to be proud of yourself and to love yourself more. If your ascendant is in Virgo, this Mercury retrograde is very important for you, because Mercury is a ruler of your chart in general, and it's in your first house and also in your 12th house. So yeah, let's look at it. First, you will feel it in your first house, in Virgo. And it's a time to think about yourself and even be a bit even more critical about yourself than you usually are, and you can be very critical about yourself. It's a time to think about how you feel and think about yourself. How do you look like? How do you present yourself to others? And how do you look at the world around you? Maybe you are too critical, maybe you are too picky, and maybe you are criticizing others too much, or maybe not enough. You know yourself. So it's a time to dive into your mind and to find out how you would want to maybe change yourself to feel better about yourself. Now it's a time for you to listen to yourself. It's not a time to listen to other people's opinions. Of course, like maybe they have a point, so be a bit critical, even what I'm saying, of course, but focus on yourself. And with Mercury in Leo, it will go into your 12th house. 12th house is about hidden topics of our life. It's also about our subconsciousness, and you can feel it in your dreams. You can feel it in your mental health. You can feel it very deep in yourself. And it's a great time to, after, like thinking about yourself, your conscious self, to go even deeper and maybe to try some therapy or some automatic writing, meditation, or some kind of healing practice, going deeper, and to find out how to be happy and proud of yourself deep inside yourself. It's a time to heal what you need to heal deep inside yourself, so you can be happier in your even like daily life. It's a time to focus on your health on a psychosomatic level, and to focus on yourself in general, like in and out, and just how you think and deeply feel about yourself and who you really are and who you really want to be. And yeah, it can be hard, it can be sad, but it will be easier after this Mercury retrograde, and you will find out a lot during this time. And your mind, your thoughts will be different in September and later on. It's a time to solve the frustration you are feeling about yourself. So yeah, I wish you to get through it easiest you can, and to be happier after. It's very deep time for you, a bit hard, but it will be better. So good luck, Virgo ascendants. This can help you. If your ascendant is in Libra, you will feel this Mercury retrograde in your 12th and 11th house. First, you will feel the Virgo Mercury part in your 12th house. 12th house is about hidden topics in your life and about your mental health, about your subconsciousness, about your dreams, and about parts of your life what are very much deep and hidden inside you. And these parts of your life will be even more detail oriented and nitpicky, critical than usual. You can have quite interesting dreams actually, and it's interesting time to go deeper inside yourself and to go to a therapy and to dive deep into details of what happened in your life and to uncover how you think about it now and how you feel about it now and how it is projecting itself into your consciousness. It's a time to think again about secrets in your life and how you think about them, and it's a time to maybe try to relax a bit. It will be harder to relax during this Mercury retrograde in your 12th house, but it would be helpful to try it and to focus on rest and on sleep more, because you will need to sleep more. Your mind is even more active than usually, and you need to take care of it and of yourself. And then there's a Leo part in your 11th house. It will be about your friends and people you are spending your time with. It will be about your plans for the future, your, like dreams, like this time, your daily dreams, and how do you really see your future. It's a time to think again about your plans and how much you want to maybe change your plans for the future to be happier about them. It's a time to maybe think again about who is your friend and who is not, and how to find new friends. It's a time when even like some friends from your past can reach out and you can meet them, or maybe it's a time when you will want to reach out to somebody. And yeah, it's not the best time to make changes. It's time to think about them and to plan them and to take time and to wait at least until September to actually make a changes in your life. So get enough sleep, and you can focus on your inner self, and you can focus on how you really deeply feel and think about yourself, and then to change your plans for the future according to that. It's a time what can be a bit hard. I mean, mostly like the 12th house, the Virgo part of it. The 11th house can be sad if you will realize somebody you see as your friend is not so much. Or maybe, like maybe you will find out somebody is even better friend than you are thinking about them. But yeah, it's a time to solve your frustrations about these topics and to plan your future. If your ascendant is in Scorpio, you will feel this Mercury retrograde in your 11th and 10th house. First, you will feel the Virgo part of it in your 11th house. And it will be a time to think again about who is your friend, and about your friends in general, about your plans for the future, about what you're dreaming about. 11th house is also about internet and your internet persona, if you have any social media. So it's time to think again a bit more critically about these topics and dive into your own mind and maybe find out who is and who is not your friend. Maybe somebody you think is not, and somebody you think is not so much, is much better friend than you thought. And 10th house is about your job, your career, and your public persona. It will be a time to think again about what you're doing for work and how do you think about it and feel about it, and what do you think about yourself doing this kind of job. Are you proud of yourself? This Mercury retrograde is a time to rethink these topics and also solve any frustrations you feel about them, or you feel about them together. Maybe about your colleagues, at work. And if you see them as friends or not, if you should see them as friends. And this combination is about your plans for the future, for a work you want to do, for a job you want to spend your time doing. And maybe you have some kind of dream job you're not doing yet. And it's a time to be more critical about these topics and don't make big changes yet. It's not a time to quit your job. I know you probably will want to do it. And you will have times when you will feel this is not it. But wait until at least September, and you will see the whole situation much more clear later in September. And also about your plans, for the future, and topics like friends and so on. Don't make big changes, yet you will have time for it in your future, like September and later. Just focus on how you think about these topics and allow yourself to be critical and to change opinion a few times during August, and observe what you think about. If your ascendant is in Sagittarius, you will feel this Mercury retrograde in your 10th and 9th house. First, you will feel the Virgo part in area of your job, of your career, of your public persona, and how you're letting the world to see you. It's a time to be a bit more critical about these topics and to think again about how do you want to spend your time, in what kind of job. And the 9th house in Leo is about traveling and foreign countries and spirituality and religion, philosophy. Mercury retrograde is not the best time for traveling, but I'm not saying you can't travel. Of course you can, just be a bit sooner on airport and look at your tickets for a few more times than you normally would, and be a bit more careful and take a bit more time for everything. And then it's not like not allowed, it's just a bit tricky. And also ninth house is about studies, so it's a nice time to think again what you would want to study. Maybe you would want to go back to school or to change what you're studying right now. So it's a time not to do big changes yet, but to think about it and plan it a bit, and to plan it in a way you will be able to make changes later. Also about your job, don't quit yet. Think about it, plan it a bit, and maybe in September, if you will feel like it, or like in October and later on. And together like this is a time to solve a frustration in your life you feel about these topics together. Maybe you feel some kind of frustration about what you did study and what you're doing right now with your life, or you feel frustration about where you work. Maybe you work in some foreign country and you would want to go back, or like you would want to move for job, and maybe you need to learn a new language because of your job, and this Mercury retrograde is giving you opportunity to think about it again. If you shouldn't do it, maybe you should. Also, it's a time to rethink how you feel about spirituality or about religion, what kind of philosophy of life you believe in. And yeah, this Mercury retrograde can give you nice opportunity to change your life a bit in the future. Right now, it's a time to think about it and dive deep inside yourself, and not to make big changes yet, because give yourself opportunity to change your mind. Just observe how your mind is thinking now. If your ascendant is in Capricorn, this Mercury retrograde will happen and you will feel it in your 9th and 8th house. First you will feel the 9th house and a sign of Virgo. You will have opportunity to think deeper about topics like spirituality, religion, philosophy, and also foreign countries, people, languages. You will think deeper and more critical about your studies, what you did study, what you want to study. Maybe you want to study again and come back to school. And it's a time not to make big changes yet, just to think about them and prepare them in your mind, and let yourself have an opportunity to make a change. And then your eighth house. Eighth house is deep. It's a house very much psychological. So you will have opportunity to think about how you really feel about your life, and what do you really think about your life, what do you think about harder topics, about crisis in your life, how do you want to change your life. Eighth house is about deep transformation, and maybe you want to change something, and this is a time to think about it, to rethink it. It's about very much like deep inner change. Also, eighth house is about money of other people, so it means taxes, debt, inheritance. So it's a time to think about these topics. And overall, it's not a time to make a big changes, more like to plan them and change them, and yeah, so on. It's a time to solve some kind of frustration inside you. This combination is quite interesting because eighth house is very real house, very deep house, and it's also a house of death. And in combination with the ninth house, it's a time to think what you feel and think about death, and of the thing that life it's not endless, you know. It's a time to revalue your opinions about life and God and what you believe in, and how you're living according to it, even in a time of crisis. Yeah, so as I said, don't make big changes yet, plan it a bit, but it's a time to go a bit deeper into yourself. Even a good time to go to some kind of therapy, you know, with eighth house, and to focus on how you really, truly, deeply feeling and thinking about your life. If your ascendant is in Aquarius, you will feel this Mercury retrograde in your 8th and 7th house. 8th house in Virgo is a bit tricky place because you are very critical about deeper topics of your life, about how you really truly feel and think about life and death, and more complicated parts of life. Also, like about like money of other people, like taxes, debt, inheritance, about your own psychology and your own feeling about yourself, about how you really are, and what to do with crisis in your life, and how to act, how to deal with everything. And during this Mercury retrograde, you will have opportunity to think again about all of these topics, quite like harder topics, and to rethink them, maybe to find out how you would want to change and how you really very deeply feel about your life. And then Mercury will move to Leo and your seventh house. Seventh house is house of relationships, of commitment, and of any one-to-one relationship and any like relationship with the other. Even if it's like a business partner or like somebody you are like creating like a duo together. So this topic in your life will be also on your mind a lot, and you will think and think again about how you would like to feel in your relationship. Somebody from your past can come back, or maybe you will want to go back to somebody from your past. But it's really not the best time to start a new relationship, because you will change your mind a few times during this Mercury retrograde, and yeah, you can feel and think very differently after if it will end, and your mind is just like working a bit differently. So if you really don't start a new relationship, you know yourself, and even like when somebody is like coming back into your life, doesn't mean you have to immediately start to date them. These two topics in combination are about finding a way how to solve frustration you feel about harder topics of your relationships, and about how much you can rely on people who are important for you in your life. Seventh house is a house of the other. It can be, as I said, about any relationship, not only like romantic one. It can be business relationship. I would even say very close friendship can be kind of like seventh house. And this brings topics like, do you really trust the other? Are you really able to rely on them? And how do you and how they act in a moment of crisis? And are your values similar? Yeah, it's not yet the time to make big changes, just like to think about them, plan them, and wait at least until September. If your ascendant is in Pisces, you will feel this Mercury retrograde in your 7th and 6th house. The Virgo part will be in your 7th house of relationships, mostly of like romantic, committed relationships, but also it's a house of the other. It's a house of any close relationship with another person. So like it can be like business relationship or like business partner, or even like very close friendship. anybody with whom you're creating some kind of like duo. And you will think very deeply and critically about this kind of relationships and think and think. It's not a time to make big changes yet. It's not really the best time to start or end new relationship. Somebody from your past can come back, or maybe you will have a need to go back to somebody from your past. I mean, it's not the best time, but like if you have to, you have to. Just be prepared. You can feel after this Mercury retrograde very differently about your relationships or your relationship. So it's better to have opportunity to change your mind. And sixth house will be influenced by Mercury retrograde in Leo. And sixth house is about your daily routine, about your daily life, about your work, and also about your physical body, about your health, and about how you eat, how much you exercise, how much you sleep, how are you taking care of yourself, and how do you feel about it, and what do you think about it. It's a time to think about how you feel every day and what would bring a positive change into your life, what would make you to feel better about your daily life and your body, and what would improve your health. Together like this Mercury retrograde is a time to think and an opportunity to solve a frustration about these topics together. So it can be about how much time you're daily spending with your partner, or how much your partner is fitting in your daily life, how much they are influencing how do you feel and think about your body, and what is their impact on your health. Like some relationships are not the most like healthy ones, so think about this a bit. How healthy is really your relationship? And I'm not saying like break up, I'm saying think about it and have an opportunity to change your mind and act on your changed mind in September and later on. It's a time to observe your relationship and your daily life, and to dive into yourself and into how you're thinking about these topics. Maybe even like what kind of words you're using when you're describing your relationship in your mind, or like out loud. How are you talking about your partner? Maybe talking more positive and positively about them would improve your relationship. So yeah, think and plan, and you will see what kind of changes in the future this Mercury retrograde will bring into these areas of your life.